Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.
Rich Tarani here in the TMC newsroom. Thanks for watching. We're at IT Expo Miami 2014. On our program, Steve Brubaker. He's the Chief of Staff at InfoCision. Steve, welcome back to the show. Great to see you.
Good to be here, Rich. Thank you. Always good to be at IT Expo with our good friends at TMC.
Our pleasure to have you, and your company is known as one of the top BPO companies in the world, and it's exciting to have you on the program and talk a little bit about what you're doing. And can you give us a little overview of your company?
Well, certainly. As the call center leaders, we're here to make sure that our clients' message is communicated well. So we work with national charities as well as the big Fortune 500 companies in a variety of different industries.
And one of the differentiators that your company has had for years and years is the tremendous amount of concern you have for the workers within the organization and the extra perks and benefits that you give them. It seems to be, from what I've seen from other competitors of yours, it seems to be a great working environment.
Well, we work on that every day. You know, in our business call centers, it's all about people. People are our business, and it's important that we create an environment where people are comfortable, where they can achieve success and know that we value their hard work and effort for our clients.
So is it true to say that a lot of companies look to outsource not only to potentially save money, but also to be able to focus on their own core competencies? Is that what you're seeing?
I think it's important in business today. Margins are slimmer than they were before. It's much more competitive. We need to focus on what we do well and then find experts to help us with those things. And so in the call center business, it requires a lot of expertise, a lot of investment in infrastructure that you just can't possibly master in every other business. So finding a good partner makes sense.
And it's interesting, the outsourcing model has been alive for many years. Most companies outsource their payroll on the half for decades if they're that old. And in the 90s, the outsourcing of call center work became a really big market. A lot of the companies in the space went public and had massive valuations. And that was pre the dot-com days. And now we're seeing the outsourcing with cloud computing, cloud communication. So it's just interesting that companies over time seem to rely more and more on different forms of outsourcing, whether it's technology outsourcing through the cloud or human capital outsourcing with business process automation or whatever you want to call the market, whether it's call center outsourcing, teleservices, whatever the terms have been over the years. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's critical that you provide a solution for companies. And in any business partnership, it has to be a win-win, right? Everybody has to benefit from that solution. So we really work with our clients to customize our approach. We want to make sure that we've met their needs and met their customers' needs, and we do that by having the best possible people on the phone, people that are highly trained, highly skilled, that speak the customer's language clearly. Those are things that make a difference. That's where the customer feels comfortable, and they know that that company cares about them and they want to do business long term.
Now, where are the agents located?
Well, we have call centers throughout the Midwest. We're headquartered in Akron, Ohio, but our offices are throughout Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. We have 32 call centers with about 4,000 employees.
So all domestic and all U.S. based?
All domestic. We have a strategic partnership, though, in Puerto Rico, where all of the Spanish services are handled for our clients. And that's been very successful for us, and we're continuing to expand that, making sure that we're able to cover the Spanish language services professionally and well, just as we do with English here in the U.S.
Sure, certainly a booming market.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the new things happening at the company?
Well, we've had a lot of growth, some new opportunities. We've continued to build our core competencies, but we've also expanded into the business-to-business model in some new ways. And when you talk about B2C versus B2B, it's a different approach, it's a different model. And our B2B, what we call our business services, we have a BAM model, Business Account Manager. And it's not Emerald BAM, in New Orleans, but it's Business Account Manager. So we have experts who are salespeople on the phone, able to communicate, manage a book of business, and we take the behind-the-scenes dialing process for them and manage that so that they have some predictability to the calling structure. And we make sure that the propensity through the business intelligence and data analytics is set aside. And we want to make sure that the next phone call that they make is the most likely customer to call. So our people are experts in communicating, in selling, in reaching those decision makers, and we use those analytics behind the scene to help them reach the next target most successfully.
So what's the difference between a typical consumer phone call, let's say a charity where you're asking for a donation, you know, hi, this is so-and-so, I'm calling from whatever the charity happens to be, would you like to make a donation, or a typical business telephone call? How do you differentiate?
Well, it's very different. You know, a business to consumer transaction is generally a single point of contact, but a business to business communication can be several transactions. You know, initially we might be just identifying the decision maker,
Sure.
reaching the gatekeeper, leaving a message, calling back, and then speaking to the decision maker. Sometimes they need to review materials that we've sent. Perhaps we send email or direct mail or set up a personal URL, and then we follow up. There's a relationship that takes place that's longer than a single phone call.
Well, you know, quite often I know that TMC, our business, will sell to what you might call a buying team. There's 5 people.
Yeah.
Ultimately that could be involved, where you talk to a few and then there's a conference call set up and then there's another call just to confirm and to finalize. So
Absolutely. So it depends on the size of the business, right? And
It
who
does.
the decision
It does,
makers
sure.
are.
And it depends on the state of the economy, I've noticed. When the
Absolutely.
economy, I have a sense of when the economy is good, when the decision-making team goes from 5 to 1. When the decision-making team expands in the same size company, you know that the economy is a tougher place.
You're being a little more careful with those spending decisions.
Exactly,
today,
they are. They
and-
want to scrutinize everything. It's just an interesting, I mean, my own personal gauge of how people feel about their future. So, but I guess it's right now, the economy is not as good as it could be, and so subsequently we have a larger buying team that your salespeople have to reach out to and communicate with.
And companies are looking to us, just as they are in the B2C area, and saying, we need you to bring your expertise and help us manage this B2B process.
It sounds complicated, because I know within an organization it's tough just to hire your own salespeople and do those things. How are you able to do it? How are you able to charge for it? How are you able to determine the success, those kinds of things?
Well, I'll tell you, we've had a number of instances where we were competing with other vendors. And one specific one recently, there were 3 vendors, we were one of 3. And the situation was that we were working for a national telecommunications company, right? The way that we managed the process was different than the others. We looked at individual books of business for our team, and then behind the scenes with the analytics, we helped our team to have that propensity. So the next call, the next customer we were attempting to reach was the one that we felt most likely through the analytics was going to be a decision maker. Then we were able to follow through with that through the process and close those sales more effectively. We had a 25% lift on our results over all our competitors. So it's really about the analytics.
Yeah, you've been talking to
and
me for
having those
years about
people.
this analytics, but that was on the consumer side, and now you're applying it to business.
You can apply it, but it's a little different because the process has to be there. Some people are excellent at being salespeople, but maybe they don't have the ability to keep that process moving, because we all know that in sales, we have to have a certain number of people we're talking to in a day, and we have to keep that process moving. There has to be some productivity around that process.
Sure.
And so we can help our team manage that.
Again, with the economy the way it is now, we found that the process is more important than it's ever been.
It's critical.
It used to be a single phone call close for some of the products, and those same size companies now will take 6 phone calls to close the same product.
It really does. It's much more than just a single point of contact, like I said. And so that's really what we've seen differently from B2C to B2B.
It's very exciting. So if companies out there are watching and they want to learn more, where do they go to find out?
Well, they can come to our website at InfoCision.com.
Okay.
And we're partnering, of course, with TMC on the new Content Boost program and a lot of the new initiatives you have. I'm very excited about that.
Well, and we're thrilled to be working with you, and content is so important nowadays on the internet, and it really it kind of is another way to get out to those customers, right?
Well, we've been
Everyone's using the web.
partnering with you all since the mid-'80s.
Yeah, it's been a great relationship.
It's been a wonderful situation. We appreciate that long-term partnership.
And we also appreciate the fact that you guys have, you've done a great job with growing your company, hiring lots of US-based agents and being one of the top companies in terms of quality interactions. I know you've won a bunch of awards for the quality of your customer interactions.
We're very proud of that, and it's nice when you can say to the team, the reason that we're successful is because of our hardworking staff and the great job they do every day for our clients. We're going to go out tomorrow and do the same thing.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks
Good
for being
to see
here.
you, Rich. Thank you.
Video coverage of ITEXPO is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.